Brian here with Hyphytek, just hanging out with the guys from the Holler, getting ready for their show at the Mishawaka, and just kind of going to have a little discussion. So first off, thing I wanted to find out about was, I just saw Michael at the Peer Awards. You guys won an award for, bluegrass, country, Americana. I mean, that kind of sums up a lot of things there. And listening to you guys practice, I felt like I heard a lot of that in there. How do you guys feel like that represents you?
We definitely play a grassy kind of feel and often get associated with bluegrass, but we kind of shy away from that bluegrass
right?
genre, if you will, because I feel like we're a little bit more rocky than we are grassy.
Totally.
And that's
It's like Ireland. There's more rocks.
it's just a challenge to associate yourself with a genre.
Yeah.
And I think we like to avoid that. We're acoustic music,
Right?
so that's kind of the base of it all.
What do you think about that? I mean,
the award was for bluegrass, country, and Americana, and I don't think we try to avoid any of those genres per se, but we're not really trying to be in any of those. Like Brian said, we're an acoustic band, and I think that the fact that all of those categories were lumped together in that award says something about those genres and how wide they are.
yeah.
How diverse those genres can be.
I agree with what you guys said, but
Good.
along with that, yeah, good. I'm toward the line.
Good.
I think the biggest thing was it's an honor, especially in this region. Those genres put together. That's a lot of bands playing that kind of music, and to be distinguished with a group that large and with that genre, I feel honored.
Especially in this town, for sure.
Yeah, in this town and in this region, yeah, that's what I feel like is where things are at, where things are going, and yeah, I'm proud to be part of it. So,
And this is year 2.
yeah,
Yeah,
It is our
that's-
second year.
That's right. Last year it was just bluegrass, right?
was
the
just
Folk Award
bluegrass.
Award
Yes, the award
went to
was
the Holler for
bluegrass.
just bluegrass. So this year, the fact that it, was a much bigger field of our peers was very humbling. Definitely
Yes.
very humbling.
Yes.
And we felt pretty good about it.
I like a lot of the bands that didn't win the award that are in our genre. I like those too, and
Yeah.
to be, wow, we won that. Cool.
I know.
Yeah.
So it was a big honor, but it was also a little bit shocking. With that big of a field, we didn't really. I don't know. I didn't expect it. Did you guys expect it?
Yes.
I think we might have, but it's also intimidating. It's a huge shoes to fill
Right.
for this town. Like Brad said, there's so many bands in that category, and
The previous winners had won 3 years in a row, I believe.
right, yeah, the previous winners, Head for the Hills.
Head for the Hills, one of my favorite. local
Yeah,
bands.
they're one of my
One
favorite
my-
Fort
one of my
Collins
favorites.
bands, and they don't play at FOCO MX because they're
They're
too big.
right.
Someday maybe we'll get them to play FOCO MX. Sometimes I'll write some lyrics and I'll come to the band with the lyrics and the tempo of the lyrics, the syllabification, and the chord progression. Right, I'm making up words here. And the chord progression, and that's all I have. And I need to rely on these guys to create like a groove for the tune, because really with this band we could present a set of lyrics in 3 or 4 different ways with all the feels that we go in and out of, and it's been a lot of fun exploring with these guys, seeing how the melody can sit on top of what kind of groove, and
Right.
having something come out in the song that I never really intended when I was writing it, because you don't think, when I'm writing songs, I very rarely come up with a bass line or a groove. It's just a melodic,
Melody or something.
yeah,
something,
and the form, and
Yeah.
lyrics.
When it comes to lyrics too, I mean, with you guys, everybody kind of bringing something in, it's crazy how I feel like they all still kind of connect a little. Like they all kind of have
Yeah.
I don't want to say a theme almost, but something. They feel real worldly. They feel real, like, I don't know, like I'm traveling around when I'm listening to every different song that comes. I'm going somewhere else every time.
I think it's real evident when people bring new music to the band that they might have written it with this band in mind. Like when Brad brought Climb in to the group, it really felt And that's one of my favorite songs to play right now,
It was
and it's
written
really a
specifically
natural song.
for the Holler. It was written for this instrumentation, for
Yeah.
these voices, for these strings.
Nice.
Yes.
It was written for drums, electric bass, mandolin, and guitar.
Is it hard to do that though? Is it hard to know that and then write a song, or does that song come to you and then you kind of fixate it towards that instrumentation? You know what I mean? Or
I think for me personally, when I write songs, they have their own life. Sometimes they pop out composed. They pop out guitar, mandolin, bass line, drum part, vocal harmonies, and I can't write it down fast enough. And sometimes they're projects, and sometimes they're effortless. This one was Climb was in the middle. It was, I want to write something that fits this band, that has percussive hits in it, that has a minor feel and a triumphant major chorus to transform you to it.
yeah.
And
Story about recording it. You know, we hadn't really played it.
yeah, when we record that, all they heard, I came in and they hadn't even heard the lyrics, the vocal melody, or anything. They put a click track in my heads and I just played the bass line. And that's all they heard. And I don't even think you guys even heard the vocal melody or the lyrics until afterwards, which is odd because a lot of times we're focusing on the lyrics and the sentiment of that helps you play. Yeah, if that's very important. But a well-written song, the music goes with the lyrics. And if you're playing the music, you are playing the lyrics, and that turned out to be one of those. And then when it all came together, I think the first time we heard the song together, we hadn't even played it together yet.
Yeah.
We actually had to learn a bass line in their headline, in their headphones, and then the last thing added was, and it was in my head from the beginning, but was the lyrics and the vocal melody. So
That's awesome. That's just so crazy how every song is, like you said, its own piece, and everything can
different
be built from so many different angles and directions and starting points. And
It's a lot like many other art forms, you know, watercolor painting, sculpture. You know, you start messing with the paint, pushing it around, pushing the clay around, and then you step back and you listen to it. And you, like you were saying, you let it talk to you. What do you need now? What does this painting need now? It's the same thing with a song. It's no different.
Nice. Well, maybe to change gears here a little bit, something I talked to Michael about at the Peer Awards was, doesn't matter. Was the fact that, you know, Fort Collins, the community, how things are kind of getting bigger. We got Spokesbuzz now, which you guys are a part of. Maybe we kind of hear about that. I mean, how do you guys feel about Spokesbuzz and what they're trying to do for this community and how that just kind of blends into the whole community as a whole? I guess say that word more than once.
I think they're still figuring out, even though they're in their third year. I think
so, yeah.
it's on its way up, and they're doing some exciting things this year with band swap and maybe sending some Spokesbuzz bands to cities,
Oh wow.
playing a show with one of those bands
I
there.
hadn't even heard about this. So.
And then then the next weekend bring that band up to Fort Collins to play with us here. So it's pretty exciting, the things that are on the horizon for Spokesbuzz, and just a symbiotic relationship of promoting them while they promote us, and of course the Mish and all the good things, and they're just wonderful people to work with. I have no complaints.
How do you feel like that reflects on the rest of Fort Collins? Like just in the town, the whole scene, you know, not just Spokesbuzz.
I feel like with so many exciting things going on in this town, with the beer and the bikes, the whole culture, it's still just us. Not too many people know about it. Right. They know about New Belgium beer,
right,
and they know that New Belgium is here.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the culture, the overall culture, people just aren't quite.
Still got a bubble.
Yeah, they don't really know how cool it is. So I think Spokesbuzz is helping to promote the city, bring in tourism, and just get the message out there of what a great place we live in. And right now, we know it,
right?
But we want the world to know it. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's very many towns with the population of Fort Collins that have a music scene like Fort Collins. I think that the scene here is almost disproportionate to the population, and I think that's magical. That's a testament to the passion of the people that live in this town.
You go to Vail, you find a lot of skiers. You come to Fort Collins, you find a lot of artists and musicians and inspired people. Yeah, it is disproportionately so, but that's why we're here, and yeah, we're trying to. That's what Spokesbuzz is doing. That's what we're doing, trying to say, hey, it's here, and everybody knows it regionally. So yeah, it's just expanding it.
The fact that Spokesbuzz is all about community, would seem like that's their mantra, and that's what they're going to base what they're doing on, is building a community. But they're already in Fort Collins, which, if you live in Fort Collins, that Fort Collins is the kind of community where community means something. It's not just a place where everyone lives next door to each other. Right. Community means something in Fort Collins, and Spokesbuzz has capitalized on what that means in Fort Collins to people who live here. And I think that they've created this community that I love, having a little community that we belong to. We belong to sports. It's like my people. We can go hang out with the Spokesbuzz folks. That's like my club, and that's really important, I think, for musicians and any artists to be able to riff off of their peers and support each other. It takes the competitive part of it away. If you look at like LA in the 80s, there was no community going on there. Right. It was do or die. And New Orleans has something like that, but the population of New Orleans is massive, so it doesn't really equal what's going on here. Like what you said, that's a really good point, that it's very small.
As far as all those bands, Spokesbuzz bands, the local Fort Collins bands, we all get along, and we're all, it is a community amongst the bands and the members of those bands. I like all the people, and it's just it's a great thing to be a part of, to feel not feel that competition, to feel supported by even people that you
don't even know sometimes. And that's like Foco MX is something that really portrays that, I think. It just shows how you don't have to be part of Spokesbuzz, but you're still part of a community. And this is everybody wants you around the Fort Collins Musicians Association. Like, there's just a lot going on here. With you guys, so we got Spokesbuzz, we got everything happening. Do you guys feel like you're looking to, take this outside of Colorado? You got some plans in the future for that kind of thing coming up soon?
We did a couple little runs over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We ended up going to Boise, Missoula,
nice,
and just outside of Seattle. So we took a little run out that way. We went to Austin with Spokesbuzz.
Yep.
Which was a great experience. Get to go back there this year.
Nice.
Got down
Four Corners area.
Santa Fe.
Went to Santa Fe. So we'd like to branch out of, the...
Been to St. Louis in the last 6 months too. Been in the Midwest as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that hard for you guys coming out of Colorado? Maybe do you guys get labeled when you go into other states, since you have been in a few other places, as like a Colorado style of music at all or anything? Is that...
Yeah, I think so.
I think we've felt a little bit of that labeling for better and for worse.
Right.
I think
it's all for better.
I think it's great. I think that there's something about our music, something about the lyrics and the adventuresome spirit of us on stage that exemplifies lifestyle in Colorado. And it's okay to be typecast as a Colorado band.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good region. There's a lot of good music that's come out of here. It's exciting. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to be, and it's inspiring. And maybe the energy that we're portraying on stage, if we go to the Midwest and elsewhere, is rather than being inspired by the music and the energy and hey, I'm performing, check me out. I don't personally. I'm inspired by the music that we're playing, which is subsequently inspired by the landscape that we live in and where we live. So maybe it's a different energy. Maybe it's subtly something else.
Well, in Colorado for the longest time has always been known as sort of a sports affiliated type.
Yeah.
Colorado was never really
outdoorsy athletic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It hasn't ever been nailed down the way the East Coast is nailed down. People know what the East Coast, New Jersey, and then there's California, and everybody's snobby. So there's been regions in the country where people think they know what it's all about. But Colorado maybe hasn't been nailed down that way. And again, it's about community. I'm proud to be a Coloradoan. I love the fact that you guys in Texas, they're like, oh, you're from Colorado. So it's all good.
My favorite bands have come out of Colorado, so of course, and I've had people come to Colorado, sent them home with a CD, and they feel like they're taking a little bit of Colorado home with them. And I definitely feel like our music is representative of Colorado. You know.
That's a good thing to be. And just one last question here, just about the music. I know at the FocoMX show, something I just heard being screamed out, and I had to just ask about it. It's a tuba, right? You guys use a tuba sometimes, or something, a trombone or a horn. Someone was screaming for the trombone.
Oh,
or
we had a sax player that night.
was it? No. Because I thought, and I read on the website sometimes too. I know in Bourbon Tooth, but one of the other bands, there's like a tuba or something.
It's been a while.
In Handpicked Holler,
Did
yeah.
it come into Holler at all? Because I feel like
in
people
Handpicked Holler,
on
there was a tuba for a couple years, up until about 2009, 2010. And we replaced the wind bass, as we called it, with a string bass.
Nice.
And to kind of solidify the grooves a little bit.
Okay, cool.
But I don't play tuba.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Josh Beard
Could you
played
play-
a heck of a tuba.
Nope.
That he was in Handpicked Holler and Wildwood Holler and
Nope, definitely know him.
Yes.
He's with the Honey Gators.
Honey
Shifted
Gators
to
now,
banjo
yeah.
full time.
One of my
Right.
favorite bands. Yeah, yeah. So that's where the tuba was coming from.
Cool. Yeah, no, I thought someone was yelling it, so I had to ask.
It's like a little, just another little period of our past that people have, that people can identify with. There's been
connect to.
so many different modes of the band and periods, socially and musically and lyrically, that people have been able to identify with us through those different periods, and I really appreciate the ones that have stuck with us through a lot of those changes and that are energized at finding something new.
Nice, and that's
Because we're energized finding something new.
that leads me into one more question, just about like with all those phases, you're kind of the only one that's ever been there, and you have these fans that have always been there for all of it and request things or ask about things. Is that ever, as other guys in the band, is that a tension builder at all or anything, in a sense? Like, is that a hard thing to deal with, or is it just a good thing that flows and grows and we just keep moving on?
I think we just
That's a good question.
keep moving on. I think we're comfortable with change,
And people understand that happens with art.
Yeah.
Things change, modes
It's
change.
usually for the better.
And
Even
we're
with
only
the
talking
forest.
about the little local level too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Holler and Wildwood Holler and Handpicked Holler have only existed in a relatively small radius.
We got a bubble.
For the past 10, 11 years. We're coming up on Halloween 10.
Right.
So
Oh, man.
it's a very local thing.
But that's good.
And the relationship that the Holler has with the fans of the Holler is very personal. And that's one thing, you're right. I was a total outsider when I came into this band. I moved up from Denver, and I don't know if you saw the same kind of thing, but it's so cool to see your fans interact with you guys on a personal level. I mean, they appreciate our art and they exalt our art to a certain degree, but at the same time, they come up to us and have a beer and talk about stupid stuff. So it's a real testament again to the community here in Fort Collins that people can approach us, because we are just a bunch of guys playing music. It's not like we're solving problems of world peace, at least one song at a time.
Exactly.
But the fans are the best. The Holler fans they love us. It's amazing. It's
Right.
they're really gracious.
That's a testament to you guys' music too. Is just that the fact that you've had these fans grow with you through these phases, and they're still here, and it just keeps getting more and more.
Yeah, definitely. I think our fans have actually pushed me into new realms by listening to them and what they want. And I don't think we could do what we do without our fans and without the people that have been around listening to us. There'd be no reason for us to get up and sing if people didn't like it. And we appreciate them so much. And actually, they deserve all of our attention when we're on stage. And that's what we try to deliver.
Nice. Well, to finish out here, is there anything we can shout out for you guys in the future?
We're doing the New West Fest. That's we can
Oh,
definitely.
we'll be at New West Fest.
Okay.
And
Bohemian Nights at
Bohemian
Nights.
Nights.
Bohemian Nights.
Bohemian
New
Nights.
West Fest.
New West
Right.
Fest.
Get the label right.
July 13th at Mountain Whitewater Descents Paddlers Pub.
Oh, whoa. Where's that at?
It's on 54G.
Okay.
So that's July, Friday the 13th.
Oh, whoa. Nice.
And then June 16th at Equinox Brewery.
Okay.
And both very cool gigs that are gonna open us up to like just different style of people, and
Right.
it's not like a late night Hody's gig or up at the Mishawaka. It's in town during happy hour times.
Nice.
And June 3rd is Denver People's Fair on the main stage. Not announceable necessarily if it's not out by that, but that's going to be a big show for us.
Still
this
something.
summer.
That's humongous. You guys
Very
got
honored
to
to get that main went through the audition
That was
process.
actually Garrett's first gig.
Main
That
first
was.
stage.
And,
First gig was audition for that, and so
Oh,
we're
man.
very excited about that.
That was
There's
cool.
going to be thousands of people there for
No,
that.
that's gonna be big time.
We just got this new drummer guy, Garrett, and we're catching him up to speed, and he's there. And in the next couple weeks, we'll start writing new material.
Nice.
And I think that there's also has been a little bit of a lull in booking because we want to make everything count that we do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of changes going on in the way we're managing ourselves and booking ourselves right now. So our schedule for the rest of the summer doesn't really look as busy as I'd like or we would like as far as the festivals we're playing right now. I mean, we're basically playing once a month
Right.
through the summer, but they're all local good gigs,
Right.
and we're kind of rallying right now to get out more.
Although it being still in May, we have
Got time.
40 gigs under our belt this year already.
Oh,
I
damn.
believe I counted. I think
Yeah.
it's at 40. So
Really? Wow.
yeah, or
So
it
that's,
was-
it's like.
we're
that's
at
that's
4 or
good.
5 a month, averaging from
Yeah.
the year forward. I think with all of our tours, and we had even.
I can't believe how
two
busy
days and
we've
stuff
been
like that.
without having the consistent percussion element.
And again, that's all
You
about
know?
the songwriting. I mean, these songs are good enough where, they could last through those uncertain times.
Was that like March 10th, the first gig with you? That first?
Yes,
It was a 2
that
song.
was it. It was
wasn't
March
even a
10th.
gig. It was a 2-song audition.
Oh wow.
It was March 10th. So
at down in Denver at Bender's at the UMX, the Ultimate Music Experience, which is the auditions for the People's Fair.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that now that we've auditioned and been accepted, I don't think we'll ever have to audition again.
yeah, I think it might be a yearly thing
If we wanna get that
if we
gig.
want that gig.
Yeah.
If there isn't a cooler gig somewhere.
Oh, right.
I mean, this is a pretty cool gig, but
Cool.
yeah, it doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay, but
It doesn't pay.
It's exposure, right?
But I mean, if you can play in front of, at our level, if you can play in front of 30,000 people,
that's something.
you're gonna beatbox. There you go.
Yes. There you have it. We have the Holler here getting ready for Mishawaka, and we can only expect great things. Thanks, guys.
And now
Thank you.
beatboxing.
Thank you guys.